next 5-10 years, everyone on earth will know about it. If you don't know about human design, people will be like, are you living under a rock? Like, that's how popular and profound this modality is.
You're listening to Life Aquarian, a soul's journey through the human experience. And now, here's your host, Leanne.
Hello, everybody. It's Leanne. Welcome to another episode of Life Aquarian. If you're new here, this is where I share my soul's journey through the human experience, the way I live, the lessons I'm learning, and the incredible people I meet along the way. And when I met today's guest, it was instant girl crush. She is the founder of the Abundance Journey. She's a human design expert. She helps her clients embody their design, tap into their natural magnetism, and grow businesses that are rooted in alignment instead of burnout. And we all need that. She has read over 1,000 charts, is very passionate about human design, and uses it as a practical tool to not only transform lives, but to uplift entire industries. Welcome to the show, Lindsey Means.
Oh my God. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you here. I've been waiting to have this conversation since the moment we met just a few weeks ago. And what I'd really like to start off with is I would love to hear about your spiritual journey, the turning point, or maybe all of the moments that led up to this passion for human design and how you got started in this work that you do.
I love this question. I always like to say that my healing journey started with a thought that changed my life. And that thought was, oh shit, I think my dad's a narcissist. And then, oh shit, I think I need therapy. And within a couple of weeks, I found a therapist, and it opened the whole, I felt like I stepped into a whole new world when I entered into personal development and healing. And the first personal development book I read was called Attached, about the attachment theory. And I just became consuming everything I could get my hands on. And that was in 2017. And then I discovered human design in 2020. And it's been a wild ride since then. My life has, I've completely changed more than once.
As we do, or at least those of us who are on a path of growth do.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who just, they're comfortable staying the same.
Yeah.
That's not us.
No.
So I remember the first time I looked at a human design chart, I was like, what the hell am I looking at? It looked like a circuit board with all of these different wires and things. I had no idea. Can you please explain to me, do you know where this even came from, when it was invented? I felt like I woke up one day and people just started asking me what my human design type was, like all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's become more popular lately. I'm pretty sure it was created in the 80s. And the founder, his name is Ra Ruhu, and he basically channeled this whole modality. And it combines ancient modalities of astrology, Kabbalah, I Ching, the chakra system, and quantum mechanics. So I like to think of all of those layered on top of each other. And it's a blueprint for your body. It's really about the mechanics of the vehicle that you live in. And the way I describe it is your body's like a self-driving Ferrari, and your soul, your spirit, who you are, you're designed to be in the passenger seat and just let the Ferrari or your favorite supercar drive you. And we all are trying to find out more about ourselves. We're like, how do we eat? What places are good for us? And human design tells you all of that. And I'm really passionate about teaching the foundational elements of it, how to feed your body, how to put yourself in the right environment, how to really understand how it's driving so that you stop trying to take the wheel, because we all know how annoying a front seat driver is. And that's basically what we're doing in our bodies. And so that's what I help people with.
And the thing that really got me so excited about you, because whenever I'm hearing something that I know is divine or channeled from the ancients or whatever you want to call it, I get these sensations when I'm like, this is something here. You need to pay attention. And not only do I need to pay attention, but others need to know this. And even just hearing the way you described it just now, I have never heard anybody speak about human design in the way that you do. You, and I know we've talked about this on the side, like you are a translator of this very complicated language.
Yep.
You translate it very well. And so before we really get into the nuts and bolts of all of this, I wanted to ask you so that people can sort of follow along with us. Where would you suggest that they're able to find their own chart to like get in front of them right now so that they can go on this journey with us?
Oh yeah, 1000%. I highly suggest, pausing this. And my favorite app is Neutrino Design. I can send you the link so you have it in the show notes, but it's Neutrino. And all you need is your date of birth, time of birth, city, state, location of where you were born. And you're going to pop that into the app. And then just like Leanne said, it's going to pull up a weird chart. That's what I said when I first saw mine. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? This is like an alien language. It's so weird. And there's lots of weird sign symbols, terminologies, all of the things. But that's my favorite app on the market. And I've pretty much tried them all.
Wonderful. And yes, I will have that link in the show notes. So just go down below and let's get into it. I know that you have more of a streamlined approach to looking at all of these things that are under the hood. You've got a streamlined process for getting to the heart of the areas that are going to propel you forward the most. And I would like for you to please speak on that now and why you center your teaching around these 3 tenets.
Thank you for asking. So human design is very, very, very complex. It's a science of differentiation. It's behavioral genetics. And I've been studying this for over 5 years now. And I've embodied I embody what I teach. And the foundational elements, the creator of human design, Ra Uru, says over and over and over, strategy, authority, strategy, authority. That's all you really need to know. And so that's big. Any human design expert should be talking about that until they're blue in the face. And the interesting thing about it is there's a lot of I just want to prepare you if you're new to human design, because there's a tendency to want to know everything and to dive in. And the app, the Neutrino Design, it's got a lot of beautiful information. But at the end of the day, strategy, authority, that's it. So the way I describe strategy is your body is that self-driving Ferrari or your favorite supercar, and your strategy is how your body goes into cruise control. So when you know your body's cruise control, you can stop disengaging it and let it do its thing so it can drive you. Because remember, the whole goal is to be the passenger in your body. And then your authority is your decision-making mechanism. This is how the all-intelligent Ferrari vehicle that you live in is designed to make decisions. Now, sometimes it doesn't make logical sense. We're taught in society and how we grew up to weigh the pros and cons, think about it logically. And at the end of the day, that is great data to have, but you do not make decisions from your mind. You make decisions from your body. And so those are the 2 most important things. The other important things that I talk about are eating by design and the first 2 transformations. So there's 4 transformations in human design, and the first 2 are the most important. The first one is eating by design. It's the only thing you need to focus on for the first 30 years of your life. You can't even get to transformation number 2 until you're 30 or at your Saturn return. And then second transformation is environment. The environment that the all-intelligent vehicle that you live in thrives. And then I also love talking about the aura, because when you meet, your aura enters the room before you do. And I don't really see a lot of people talking about aura. They mainly talk about the type, which is like your energy type. And then your theme for life is how you know when you're in alignment or out of alignment. And I'm all about the basics. I'm a manifesting generator in human design, and I love finding the fastest, easiest, most efficient ways to do things. And like you said, I do have a gift of translating a very complex modality in layman's terms. It's like, I'm going to teach you calculus in a way a kindergartner can understand.
And you do. You do so well. Really quick, I wanted to ask you, because I know that when I opted in to, or I sent you a DM on Instagram, I was able to get access to a podcast that you had, and it was fascinating. And I wanted to know, you have a regular podcast, right?
I do.
Let's talk about that real quick.
I do. I have like 100 episodes on it, and it's been mainly my journey. So season 1 was what I was talking about my life. And that was, oh man, when did I start? I think I started my podcast in 2017 or 18. And so, yeah, there's a lot of content on there for sure. I haven't produced new episodes in probably a year, but now that I have found my people, I have a lot of podcast episodes that are downloading in, so I will be starting that. But the last few episodes are major things of human design. I basically created those episodes because I didn't want to say the same thing over and over again. So I created it as a free resource for people.
And I will have that linked in the show notes as well. And also a way for you to connect with her on Instagram, so you can DM her and get it sent straight to your inbox. So now let's talk about it. Can we talk about these different types, profiles, authorities? I'm still trying to figure out what category is what. Like, I know I'm a projector, but what is that? Is that my profile? Is that my type? Is that my energy thing?
Ooh, okay. So you're a projector. That's the type. So your type is your energetic aura. And there's 5 different types. So you could either be a projector like Leanne, manifesting generator like myself, a generator, a manifester, or a reflector. And 35% of the population are manifesting generators, or mani-gens, as I call us. And then 35% of the population are generators, 20% are projectors like you, 8% are manifestors, and 1% are reflectors. And that's kind of like your sun sign in astrology. It gives you an idea of specific attributes of your energy, but it's not the full picture by any means.
So then, can we talk about what makes each of those types different?
Yeah. I like to explain the types as if they were building a town. So I got this from one of my original mentors, and she explained it in a beautiful way, and I love sharing it with other people. So if you're a manifester, you're a trailblazer, you're a pioneer, you've got king or queen energy. You're here to bring new ideas and inspiration to earth. So you're like the developer of the town. You get the idea and you're like, here's what we're going to do. You see it all. And then you connect with the projector, because the projectors are like the project managers. They say, okay, manifester, I see your idea, because the manifestors can start it, they can implement it, but then they need help finishing it. They're kings and queens. They're not supposed to do the actual work. And so then the projectors come in, and projectors can see from this bird's eye view. They can see from point A to Z, and they really know how to help people harness their energy. So they take in the idea of the development of the town, and then they're like, okay, here's how we actualize it. Here's how we bring it to earth. And then the builders come in, the generators and the manifesting generators. The manifesting generators are the fast and efficient builders. They're going to create a bunch of stuff, and then they're going to take a break, and then they're going to create something else, and then they're going to take a break. And they might skip steps, but generators and mani-gens are like the tortoise and the hare. The mani-gens are the hare, and the generators are the tortoise. They all get there at the same time, but the generators are slow and steady builders, and the manifestors are sprint, rest, sprint, rest, sprint, rest. So then the generators come in, and they're slow and steady. They're here for perfection. They're here for mastery. They're the electricians who've been doing this for 20 years and they know what they're doing. They're the experts that are ride or dies and they've been doing this forever. And then the Manny Gens are just kind of floating all over the place. And so they build the town. So now the town's built. And then the reflector comes in. The reflector is like the interior designer. The reflector is thinking about the community. The reflector is like, ooh, this is what the town people will love. Here's how to make it beautiful. Here's how to make it pretty. And reflectors, you can tell, they say that you can tell the health of a community based on the health of a reflector, because reflectors are taking in the energy of the people around them. And so that's how I like to explain the types.
And can we talk about the energy output? Because that is the one thing that, out of everything that I read about my type as a projector, the one thing that stood out to me most was the difference in energy, because I've always felt like I definitely can't keep up with my sisters, can't keep up with my family. And I'm always comparing myself to other people. And I used to really hustle. I used to be in deep into that hustle culture until I realized that I can't. I was hurting myself trying to do all that.
Mm.
So I'm curious to hear how you would explain these different energy reservoirs, or however we would say that for each one.
Such a good question. So 70% of the population are either generators or manifesting generators. And what makes you a generator type is the sacral center. So when you're looking at the chart, you're going to see 9 shapes. You're going to see a bunch of numbers in the shapes. You're going to see lines coming out of it. You're going to see red and black colors. And the sacral center is the square second from the bottom. So it'll be red if you're a generator or manifesting generator. That's one of the 4 motor centers in human design. So the generator type, 70% of the population, we wake up with a full tank of gas, and we're designed to burn that full tank of gas off doing things that we love and that are satisfying to us and that are exhilarating and exciting. And we just have all of the energy to do things that we love. And then we go to sleep empty with the tank on empty, and we wake up and we do it all over again. So that's generative energy. It's life force energy. It's the sacral center is about satisfaction, pleasure, sensual energy, sexual energy, life force energy. Now, there's a lot of generator types who are not doing things that they love. And the theme for life as a generator type, generator or Manny-Gen, is satisfaction. So if you are satisfied, you are using your energy appropriately. Now, the not self theme or the shadow is frustration. There's a lot of frustrated generators and manifesting generators, and they're just giving their life force away. And it's not healthy for them to be doing things that they aren't turned on and lit up and excited about. Now, there's a caveat here, because we are adults and we do have to do things we don't want to do. But for the majority of the times, like 80-20, 80% of the time, you better be doing something that's satisfying. So every shape, all of the shapes are based off the chakra system. So on your chart, you're going to see shapes that are colored in, like red or brown or yellow or green. And then you're also going to see white shapes. So the white shapes are where you take in and amplify the energy. Those are called undefined centers. So as a projector, 70% of the people you're around, of the people you work with, of your family, well, 50% of your family, but most families have a generator type because we're so popular, or we're the most common, I guess, if you will. So as a projector, you take in and amplify the energy of the people around you. So when you're around your sisters, you're probably like, ooh, you're feeling their Manny-Gen energy. If they're at a 10, you could be at a level 20. And so you can get hyped up and you can be like, oh my God, I love this. And then when you disconnect from them, you might be exhausted. You probably are exhausted. Does that resonate with you?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where the burnout comes in, because you feel like you should be doing all of the things that everyone else is doing. So then we move into the other types. So you can be a projector and still have energy. So for you, I actually have your chart. You have the root center defined. So you have the way that your energy works is it's like a motor and it pulses on and off. And when it's on, it's energy to get things done. It's a pressure center, it's stress and adrenaline. It's just kind of this steady hum to do the things and check the things off your to-do list. And so you're what's called an energy projector. But there are types out there that do not have access to any of the 4 motor centers. If you are a self-projected projector, a mental projector, or a reflector, that automatically means you do not have motors. Those are the most rare types. Those types are probably 5% or less of the population. Everyone else generally has a motor center, but this is why human design is so powerful, as you said, because most projectors, when they get into their 40s, if they haven't been living by design, they will get sick. They will have problems because their body, remember the all-intelligent Ferrari or your favorite supercar, if you're not treating it well, it's going to break down. And so that's where human design comes in, because it shows you, it gives you permission to be you. I met a guy at an event, and he was a self-projected projector, and he was talking about all these things that he was trying to do. And I look at him and I was like, dude, you don't have any motors. You don't have any motors. You are so different from the rest of the population. You're not going to get things done in the way other people do. And I saw him 6-8 months later. He was like, holy shit, Lindsey, you've been in my brain. I hear your voice all the time. It's like, dude, you don't have any motors. And so this is one of my favorite things about human design is it helps you feel seen, heard, and validated for being you. And it gives you the permission that you don't need to be you.
And I love it too. I just also find myself wondering if am I using this as an excuse? Am I leaning back into my projectoriness and being like, I don't push myself. I don't have to. What about manifestors then? I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to let you. I think I might know, but I'm going to let the expert speak.
So manifestors have at least one motor center defined, because what makes a manifestor is the throat center is connected to a motor center. And so manifestors have at least one motor center, and most projectors, I would say, most people, I would say, at least have one motor center, but it's understanding how the motor is designed to work and to not push yourself. I have a friend and she has the same configuration as you. So your intuition turns your root center on, and it's about waiting for the intuition to turn the root on. And it's about listening when the intuition, it's mainly about listening when the intuition says, no, stop working. So you really want to be paying attention to when your intuition, when your body's like, girl, take a break. And when you push through, we all know what it's like to push through things. And sometimes you need to, if you have a deadline or whatever, but most of the time, that's what you're looking for. And my friend, she's like, Lindsey, she sent me a voice note. She's like, Lindsey, it's midnight, but my root is on. And she harnessed that energy because the body doesn't know time. And so I would say this is where I'm always about experimentation. It takes time. It took me a year plus to understand how my body was speaking to me. And so for you, the way that you have energy is really paying attention. I would really pay attention when your spleen's like, no, Leanne, stop. You better stop. Because if you push yourself, you will probably get sick.
And that is really interesting. What your friend said, that resonated with me because there have been moments. I like to have certain times that I work within, but there have been moments where I'm just in the zone. And I go ahead and allow myself to work beyond the hour because I don't know when the zone's coming back. So I got to get while the getting is good. But then when in those moments where I push, that's when mistakes can happen. That's when, so I have learned to stop. Or that's when, my arms can start hurting or whatever. So I think it's important for everybody, regardless of your type, to listen to your body and know when you need to take a break. Because that is this new chapter of my life is really dedicated to helping people live in joy, get out of soul-sucking careers. I'm going to be that first person that's going to encourage you to quit your soul-sucking job.
Same.
If you want that, call me. I'll be that for you. I'll celebrate when you get laid off for your soul-sucking job.
Me too.
I'm going to be that friend. I'm not going to wallow in it with you. I'm going to suck.
Girl, I do the same thing when people are like, my life's falling apart. I'm like, good. Time to feel your feelings, but it's time to celebrate.
I know we talked about the types. Can you explain the profiles? And because I know how many numbers in total, does it matter which number is first or second? Can one be first and then second? Yeah. Like, for example, I think I'm a 2-4, but sometimes I'm like, am I a 2-4 or am I a 4-2? Is there even a 4-2? I don't know.
There's no 4-2s. So there are 12 profiles, and they are based on the lines in human design. So there's line 1 through 6. And your profile is the fraction number. So you're a 2-4, I'm a 6-2. I'm not going to list out all 12 of them, but it'll say profile, and then it'll give you a fraction number. So the first number, for me, it's a 6. For you, it's a 2. That's what your conscious personality, that's what you're going to resonate with more so. You're going to understand what that is. So for instance, well, let me pause myself. So first number is what you're going to resonate with more so. It's your conscious personality. The second number is your unconscious personality. This is what other people pick up on more so than you. So you're line 2. So we're both line 2s. You're conscious, I'm unconscious. And the line 2 is the hermit, the wise one, the weirdo. Honestly, whenever I first saw the line 2 explanation, it was like, it's that crazy person on the hill. And some people are like, oh my God, that person is amazing. And then other people are like, that person's weird. And so when I read that, I literally, as a kid, called myself a recluse because I just liked being alone. So line 2s are homebodies. We're the natural. We're the dancer. We're just kind of dancing through life, doing our own thing. And then sometimes people are like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Come play with us. And we're like, no, we just want to do our own thing. And so line 2s are I love line 2s. Like line 2s are amazing. I love 2-4s. And so then the second number is unconscious. So for you, let me just give a breakdown of all 6. Line 1, you're welcome. Line 1 is the researcher. You need information to feel safe. You're getting to the bottom of things. You are learning. You are studying. You always need information. And line 1s have a tendency to feel like they don't know enough. And whenever I meet line 1s, I'm like, girl, your 50% knowledge is like 200% knowledge for the rest of us non-line 1 people. So trust that you have information. You are seen as an authority, whether you recognize it or not. Then I already talked about line 2. Line 3 is the scientist. What do scientists do? They run experiments, they fail, they collect the data, and they do it all over again. Line 3s have lived many, many, many lifetimes in one lifetime. They are pioneers, trailblazers. They need to get their hands dirty in order to understand what is going on. And failure is huge. Like so many line 3s, a question I ask them are, what's your relationship with failure? And so many of them are like, I hate it. And I'm like, you better get used to it because there is no failure for you. Scientists won't invent things unless they fail. Like that is part of the process. Then we got line 4, which is the networker. Line 4, community. You're kind of an introvert, extrovert. Community is big for you. You're a connector. And I'm sure, Leanne, if people are like, I need a CPA, you're like, oh, I got you. Like, you love connecting people, being part of community, creating community, and just having you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're very familial, very family, very like, people feel like they know you when they meet you. And then we got line 5, which is the karmic mirror, the mentor. Line 5s, I have a special place in my heart for line 5s because sometimes they can get a bad rap. They kind of they're a mirror. So their energy is behind a mirror and people are seeing a mirror and projecting onto it. And so line 5 energy is kind of like they love you or they hate you. They could be like, oh my God, you're the best thing ever. And then you do something quote unquote wrong. And they're like, I hate you. You're the worst. So line 5s can have a bad rap sometimes. But when you understand that it's a projection field, that's so much. I have had so many line 5 people like cry because of what I explained. Like, just don't worry about those people. They're seeing something. You're healing people just by being you because you're this beautiful karmic mirror and you're here to bring universalization to earth. So if you are teaching something, if you have a business, share the practical 1, 2, 3 steps, like practical, easy, universal, plug and play sort of information. And then last but not least, we got line 6, which is me. And as a line 6, you have 3 parts of your life. The first 30 years, you act like a line 3. So that's a lot of trial and error. I'm literally surprised I'm alive based upon all of the chaos that happened to me in the first 30 years of my life. So then around your Saturn return, you start entering into phase 2. They call phase 2 going up on the roof. Basically, it takes 20 years to distill, embody, contemplate, observe, witness, whatever, all of the first 30 years of your life. So I'm 40, I'm halfway through that process and I feel it. Like, it took me so long to embody and distill and kind of like pull apart what happened to me in the first 30 years of my life. And then phase 3 is going off the roof. So after you've spent 20 years on the roof, contemplating, embodying, you become the embodied leader, the embodied role model, the guru. So you come off the roof, and that's ideally, supposedly, when everyone starts coming to you for all of the knowledge that you have gained in the first 50 years of your life.
Wow. I didn't even know what the numbers were or what they stood for. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, so much research I need to do. I need to look up everybody's numbers. And I'm glad this is recorded so that I can come back to it again and again and again. So then moving into authorities, then this is like how we make decisions. Can you please talk about the different authority types and how they can make decisions based on their design, or how they are designed to make decisions, rather?
Of course. And I want to give a little disclaimer with this because you may be listening to your authority and you're like, I don't resonate with that. And there's conscious and unconscious parts of your design. So everything that's red in the chart is unconscious. That's your body. And everything that's black in your chart, that's conscious. That's like your mind, if you will. And your conscious energy that you can resonate with. So there's so many nuances with human design. And so I always like to give that disclaimer first. But the basic generic information is 50% of the population have an emotional authority. If you're an emotional authority, you cannot make spontaneous decisions. You are an emotional transmitter. You're pumping emotions out into the universe all the time. So when you're making big, major decisions, you need time, and clarity is what you're looking for. 70 to 80% clarity that this is right for you is good. You may never have 100% clarity because your emotions are always changing. So take time. I always say like set 24 to 72 hours. And when you have that 70 to 80% clarity, you know it's right for you. Then the second most popular one is sacral authority. I can't remember the percentage with this one, but sacral authority is really about, do I have energy for it or no? It's either I have 100% energy or I don't. I used to say if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no, never going to be a hell maybe. So it's really asking yourself, do I have energy for this or not? And then the next one is splenic. This is what you have. And as a splenic authority, it's really about the intuition. And your intuition is constantly speaking to you now, 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 now. It's always speaking in the now. And a lot of times the intuition is fear is part of the intuition center. So you may have this decision, maybe it's quit your intuition is like quit your job. And then you feel this rush of fear. Well, look around you, make sure you're not about to die. But true fear is there's a saber-tooth tiger behind you and you're literally about to die. Thank God that's not really happening much these days. So breathe into it because that fear is your body getting excited about whatever it's telling you. And then those are the most three popular ones. So the majority of the population have those three. There's 7 authorities in total. So after that, it would be the ego authority. That one's really what do I want? What does my heart want? It's the ego heart authority. The next one is the self-projected projector, which is kind of like a hybrid of the ego authority and the mental authority. So the mental authority is really about the frequency of your voice. So mental authority people need to talk out their decision. And then self-projected is kind of a hybrid of that. What does my heart want? And talking it out. And then the last one is the lunar authority, which is exclusive for reflectors. And this is wait 28 days. And if you're a reflector listening to this, DM me on Instagram because there's so much not correct information out there for reflectors. And when I first learned about them, I was like, damn, it must suck to be them. But you have a unique 28-day cycle that's based on the moon. And when you understand your unique 28-day cycle, you can understand how to best make decisions.
What's your authority?
Sacral.
So on the chart, does it spell that out?
Mm-hmm.
Like what your authority is?
It'll say your authority. And then the Neutrino Design app that I shared, the free version is good and the paid version is highly recommended. It's like $25, $30 a year. And I do have an affiliate link for that. If you want that, I can send it to you. But I would recommend if you're really wanting to learn about human design, I would recommend getting the pro version because you can tap onto every single aspect of your chart and get really, really good information. And I will also say a lot of people, when they learn about human design, they're like, oh my God, I need to know everything. Please do not use ChatGPT. ChatGPT does not know how to read a human design chart if you upload it. It does not know how to give you information. I do use ChatGPT to organize my notes for things in my business, and I have to be so meticulous with fact checking it. So please, 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 like get your information. There's books, there's podcasts, there's experts, there's information out there. Do not use ChatGPT.
It's a great disclaimer. I know, because it likes to sneak some stuff in there, even with astrology and stuff. Like even looking at my astrology chart, I'm like, no, that's not my chart. I don't know where you got that, but it's not me.
Yep.
And speaking of the chart, when you were talking, I want to go back to the profiles for a second, because when you were talking about the first number being your conscious self, and then the second one being your unconscious, it made me think of sun in astrology and moon. Like, would it be something like that where this is like your sun and this is your moon, your conscious self, your unconscious self? Does that align?
You could totally.
Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. It's helping me to make more sense of it. And you said something else that really piqued my interest when you were talking about eating by design. Because I'm very particular and I have a lot of I don't want to call them restrictions because I don't like that word. Preferences. I have a lot of dietary preferences that make me a difficult house guest. I usually carry my own food wherever I go. I just bring my food. How would people know how to eat by their design? Like, can you explain that a little bit?
So that is the brain and determination. So brain, you're either going to have an active or passive brain. And simply put, an active brain needs more calories for the health of their brain, and passive brain people don't. So you have a passive brain, and which I do as well. So we can fast. Like sometimes I eat at 1, sometimes I eat at 5. And we fast as long as you need to. You take in information slowly. Like when you wake up, your brain's like, passive brain people are like dial up. Takes me like a good hour plus to be able to have access to my brain. And then active brain people, as soon as they wake up, they've got access to their brain. And then determination, there are 12 determinations, and there's circumstance-based determinations, and there's ingredients-based determination. So yours is actually, it's too difficult to really get into all of them here, but for you have what's called cold taste. So you don't really need to like, essentially cold foods are going to be better for you, but it's really about the drinks. So if you're drinking hot coffee, if you're drinking hot tea, if you're drinking hot drinks, that is not conducive for your body. So you probably naturally lean more like, do you get your coffee hot, or do you get your tea hot, or do you get it cold?
So this is kind of interesting. I've got a glass of iced tea right here and then a glass of ice water. I actually keep glass jars of water in my refrigerator so that they stay cold. But I like my coffee hot, even in the summer. But everything else is cold. I like for my water to be really cold. And I do like cold drinks. How can you see that in the chart? How can you know this? Is it called out? Is it spelled out? Or do you have to know what to look for?
It's called determination in the app. If you have the pro version, you can scroll down on the main tab and it will say determination, and it'll give you like a little paragraph of it. So determination is about digestion. So when you're eating a meal, it's really good for you to have a cold drink paired with that meal, because it's going to help you digest that meal better. And when you eat foods that are colder than your body temperature, that's going to help you digest those foods better. You also probably like cooler environments. Maybe when it's 110 degrees in Austin, Texas, you don't want to be outside very much. You'd rather be in a cooler place. You probably keep your house like cooler. So your body runs hot is essentially what it is. And you need cool things to help you digest. And so, it's determination. So that's how you can look that up on the app.
I've never heard any of this stuff that you're now saying. I've never heard this before. And I have built into my schedule. On a good day, it's 2 hours. On most days, it's usually 2 hours. Before I will even do any work, I have to I journal, I read, I meditate, I go on a walk. Like I have all of these things. And this idea, my boyfriend, he must have an active brain. He can jump out of bed and he jumps out of bed, grabs his laptop and starts working. And it's like, how are you doing? I could never, although there was a time I did. But now that I'm living, which is making me think I must be living more by my design, because now that I've been trying to live more intuitively and spiritually, I've let go of some of those old practices that used to put me in like instant stress, I have to like set the tone of my day. I have to build up for that. This is a question I wanted to ask. I know that we're getting close to the end of our time, but I wanted to ask you, is there anything related to compatibility with human design like there is with astrology? And I know all of that's very fluid anyway, and any relationship can work. But I just wanted to pick your brain on that and see if you had any initial opinions about human design and compatibility. Anything that comes to your mind when I ask that.
A lot of people ask that question. I think that saying like attracts like, right? So two projectors are going to naturally understand themselves better because they're like that. You only know what you know. So I'm not saying that you're going to have the best relationship if you're with another projector or another mani-gen or whatever. But those relationships, like attracts alike, is kind of applicable there. Same with the profiles, with like a 6'2" with a 6'2", they have the same trajectory in life. They have the same experiences. So you're going to resonate. You're going to find commonalities. There also are harmonious profiles. There's a really good book. I can't remember what it's called. If you remind me, I can send you the name of it, so you can give your listeners the name of the book. But it talks about it goes deep into the profiles, and it shares the harmonious ones. You could probably Google it and find it too. But like 6'2s and 2'4s are harmonious. 6'2s and 3'5s are harmonious. And there's reasons why. Other than that, it's really an individual basis, because I think if someone out there is like, a manifestor shouldn't be with a projector, then I call BS on that person, and that person doesn't know what they're talking about. Because as I'm sure you feel the same way with astrology, I'm sure it's like, oh, a Leo can't be with a Capricorn. Never. That's never going to work. It's like, no, that is just a teeny tiny bit of the tip of the iceberg of the full entire chart. So what I would say, that instead of answering that question, it's when you are the number one most important relationship in your life. So A, learn about yourself first. B, learn about your loved ones. Learn about the people around you. A big part of creating harmony in relationships is understanding where you're different. So my ex had an active brain, like you assume your partner does. And he would get on to me because he would wake up, he'd instantly have access to his brain. He'd instantly start doing things. And I wake up, and sometimes I don't really like waking up with an alarm anyways, but we sleep later. We're not morning people. I have a 2-hour freaking morning ritual too before I start getting to work. And so he used to like shame me for that. Of like, why aren't you up? Why can't you wake up? Why are you still sleeping? And when you understand, oh, she has a passive brain, I have an active brain, then you can accept that person, because you understand that they're mechanically different than you. And so that is where I believe that human design is the most powerful tool for relationships, because it helps you understand your differences so that you can live in more harmony with each other.
I love that you said that. And I know that you talked about how it can transform industries. And so can you just quickly talk about why this is such a helpful tool in a workplace, in a team environment?
Oh my God. Well,
I mean, I think it's obvious, but I want to hear you say it.
It's for that reason, for understanding. So I'm a former hairstylist of 12 years. With teams, I'll use a salon, for instance. If you have a mani-gen and you're trying to force them to do, or a generator, and you're trying to force them to do every single service that you offer, you're going to have a frustrated generator or type. And so allowing them to do the things that light them up, and really understand communication. It helps with communication. It helps with burnout. It helps with team morale. Anytime I've done a team workshop, it is the coolest thing, because especially for the team to learn about their team leader, because when I explain all of this stuff, they're like, oh my God, that's so her. And they're able to see each other through a new lens, it's all about acceptance. When you can understand there's nothing wrong with me, this is just how I'm designed. Oh, that's the most powerful gift that you can give your team. And so I see human design, I in the next 5-10 years, especially being in the age of Aquarius, and like, I definitely see human design in the next 5-10 years. Everyone on earth will know about it. If you don't know about human design, people will be like, are you living under a rock? Like, that's how popular and profound this modality is.
And so how can people work with you?
I have a 30-day Dream Client Magnet Challenge that I'm going to be running every quarter or so. And then I have my Abundance Journey community, which is a 4-phase membership where people increase their capacity to receive more clients, more love, more opportunities. they embody their design, and they start harmonizing masculine and feminine energy. And then if you live in Austin, I'm actually doing in-person experiences. And with my Austin in-person experiences branch of my business, I will be focused on singles, couples, parents, and team leaders. And so I've cultivated a 4-hour experience to really understand human design, mastermind with other like-minded people, and to have takeaways on how to actually embody it. Because a lot of human design people just spew a ton of knowledge and information and not enough information on how to actually apply it to your life so that you see results. And I have online courses. I really want to work with teams right now, so I'm not really doing one-on-one sessions. But if my body responds and it says hell yes, then I will do whatever my body says hell yes to.
And I'll have links to everything that's available. Anything that has a link available right now, I'll have that in the show notes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today, with all of us, and to share your knowledge, because everything that you have given us today is so valuable, and I can already feel my life changing as a result of that.
Oh.
So, and I'm so happy that I met you.
Oh,
I'm so happy that you're here. And thank you to everybody who was here today, who shared your beautiful energy with us. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. Hit Lindsey up on Instagram. And like and subscribe and share. Share this episode. Share this episode with other people in your life. Have them pull their chart. Maybe y'all can have a chart pulling party. Maybe you can watch this episode together. Go through your charts and talk about it as you watch or listen, however it may be. And until next time, bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this content valuable, it would mean the world to me if you would give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who you think would benefit from it as well. And if you would like to see more incredible conversations like this one, please subscribe to my channel and continue this journey through the human experience with me. I truly appreciate you spending this time with me today, and I look forward to being with you again very soon.